Right, povos out there, what's an unwritten rule from your world that rich people just wouldn't understand?
I had a roommate in college, and one day I came home and there was a brand new rice cooker. So of course I'm like, oh no, what happened? Did the other one break or something? And he said, no, it was just getting kind of old. But it still worked. So my wife and I were playing with this filter, and I showed her, and she was like, oh, it doesn't work on you. And I was like, do you think I look like this? And she's looking at the screen. She's like, yeah. I was like, hold on. And I just thought it was kind of sweet that she thought this was me without a filter, even though she lives with me and sees me every day.
I don't understand today's dating world. I take girls on nice dates. I get them flowers. I'm emotionally available. I go to the gym. It doesn't matter what I do.
So people rightfully took this guy to task, but I want to go a different route and give you some advice. You have been taught that women are a game, right? If you put in the right cheat codes, if you score enough points, eventually you're going to be rewarded with a nice shiny prize to show off to your buddies. But that's not how life works. Most women will not like you, at least not romantically, and that's not a reflection on you or them. That's just life. Look, you may genuinely be a nice person, but when you frame it like, I'm doing the cheat codes, I've gained enough points, where's my prize? It doesn't sound like you are. And until you break free from the idea that women are NPCs and accept the fact that they don't owe you anything, then you're going to keep on feeling the same type of frustration over and over and over again, and it can lead to a really dark place.
If neither girls nor guys ever settle, the vast majority of men and women are going to be single for the rest of their life.
So I get videos like this sent to me constantly of men complaining that women only want the top 10 to 20% of men and that they need to settle. They talk about women as if they are a hive mind. Like there's only one specific type of man that falls into this group, which is...
You want the 6 foot, 6 figure, 6 pack.
But the problem is that vision is a description of men from other men. Now, are there women who that describes? Sure, because say it with me, women are not a monolith. And before you can say you don't ask a fish how to catch fish, you ask a fisherman. Women aren't fish either. So when you actually ask women what they value in a man, rarely does the term 6-pack, 6 figures, and 6 feet come up. So it's not that women need to lower their standards, it's that you actually need to listen to them instead of guys like Andrew Tate. One of my followers DM'd me one of the most insightful things about modern dating and relationships that I've ever heard, and I wanted to share it with you. She said, men, straight men, believe that they are competing with the top 10% of other men for women's affection. But really, what they're competing with is the peace that women feel in solitude. What do you think?
I'm just a Hi, I'm from Norway. Where are you from?
Okay, I have a question because I want to know if I'm just completely off here, right? The premise of this video is that this guy is this beautiful Norwegian hottie, right? But then when he speaks, it's like, ooh, right? But, and I guess this is a question more for anyone who is attracted to men, right? For me, when I saw the beginning of this, I was just like, whatever, eye roll, generic guy, right? But then after he talked, I was like, that's a good looking dude. Like, am I the weird one?
The most atheistic city in America hears about Jesus from hundreds of young people worshiping.
What is going on out there? Who is Jesus?
People who grow up with money, like, literally look into your eyes and ask you something insane.
So my wife didn't grow up rich, but she grew up very comfortable in a fairly affluent neighborhood, and I grew up in poverty. But she, one time when we started dating, said to me in random conversation, do you remember when you used to have, like, astronauts come speak at your school? You know, like, from the ones that were, like, the dads of your classmates? No, I do not remember.
Being a stay-at-home mom is not a job whatsoever. It's a privilege.
For you. You're right. It is a privilege. For you.
I was laid off of work for 4 months and I had to stay home, and it's the easiest I've ever done in my life.
I think it's important to stop the video here and point out that, from what I gathered, this guy is single and without children. That's the comparison he's basing this on.
In fact, I got bored. I can do all the daily responsibilities that come with taking care of a house in no time. And then other than that, all you have to do is watch your kid.
Is that it? You just got to watch your kid, single man living in a studio apartment who thinks that wiping his own ass and taking care of himself by himself gives you authority to tell parents, and specifically moms, how easy it is to raise a child effectively?
It makes absolutely no sense to me. How did they deliver pizzas before GPS was a thing?
I've seen a lot of people angrily stitching this. Like, how could you not know? Guys, we're old. I hate to break it to you, but we're old. Most people under 25 have never even heard a busy signal or used a VCR or know what star 69 is. We're old. It's okay. Yeah, this won't matter. Our kids, as with most kids, don't like crust, so we bought them Uncrustables. These are sandwiches designed without crust, but they'll eat the inside of those and leave the Uncrustables crust. So we'll make them our own sandwiches and we'll cut the crust off. They'll eat the inside of those and create their own crust. It's not crust. They just don't like the outside of their sandwich.
People who grow up with money, like, literally look into your eyes and ask you something insane.
I got a bunch of these. Once when I was in college, a wealthy student came over to my apartment and he was like, "Oh, where are your napkins?" I was like, "Oh, paper towels over there." He was like, "No, but do you have any napkins?" And I said, "Paper towels are over there." Another was, I was in my 20s and I was playing a pickup game of basketball and I got headbutted so hard on my nose. Pretty sure I broke my nose. It was pretty gruesome. And one of the other guys was like, "Hey, do you need me to drive you to the hospital?" And I was like, "Hospital? Are you paying? We got to see if this resolves itself." Freshman year of college, one of our professors had us write a reflection on our favorite out-of-state vacation. And I had to approach him and let him know I'd never been out of the state before. And related, another time in college, I mentioned to someone that I'd only been on a plane once in my life. And they're like, "Well, how did you go on vacation? Did you just boat everywhere?"
I make all the girls that I bring home walk through this, because if they don't fit through this, then they probably shouldn't be coming home with me.
I'll make an actual response to this later, but I think the comment section to this is just hilarious. It's like the bat signal for when you done fucked up and flew just a bit too close to the sun with your misogyny. Her name's even pre-entered into the search box. So this is the response from the guy that made this video.
I make all the girls that I bring home walk through this, because if they don't fit through this, then they probably shouldn't be coming home with me.
Let's talk about it. I have a lot of friends who are high school teachers, and they've been talking a lot about how it's a huge problem with teenage boys that they are obsessed with creators like this, you know, the wannabe Andrew Tates of the world, because grown men don't find this funny. At least grown men who don't hate women don't find this funny. And those groups will make up 95% of this guy's following, because it's definitely not women. And then these young boys and angry men will then take your tactics and apply them to their own lives and get rejected, which makes them more angry, which then just gives you a bigger audience to peddle this kind of crap. And look, man, it's your right to build a platform to be the king of the incels and teenage boys, but it's weird. It's weird. That's the only, you're weird.